Hey guys, welcome back to a great Gridiron football show.
Yeah.
It has no name. We're just
Hey,
it's me. I do what I want to do. You know, it's a luxury of owning the company, right?
Yeah.
So it's not the chase with Jace.
No.
You know, we're just doing something out of the ordinary. We want to put together a show for you guys and talk about some football. You know, close out the 2023 season. Talk about the bowl game a little bit.
Yeah,
Talk about some things coming up. So closing out the bowl game, we'll talk about the season real fast. We had 14 players of the week, national players of the week.
Yep.
I'm going to order some patches for letter jackets, and in that way, we're going to send all those guys Letterman jacket patches. We have the national player of the week coming up next week. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So last year was really the first time we did it, and then last year it was majority Louisiana, and then we brought it back this year, and it was like, hey, instead of just doing Louisiana, let's actually open up more nationally. And we got some good reviews on it. And we actually had a couple players were actually, of the 14 nominees, we had a lot in Texas this year. And Florida, Alabama, Missouri. So they came from all over, and we're just getting bigger and bigger, growing our database even more. So even next year, we're going to have even more and more states being involved. So it was great to hear and seeing all the coaches get involved with it. And then maybe like halfway through the season, we decided, let's get the fans, let's get them involved with it, and they did a really good job of voting for their players and voting for the kids and to be the number one players. So that was really a lot of fun. We had a lot of live reactions too. We did a countdown from the top 10 players from 10 to 1 based on performance and votes, and it was really fun, and it was even more fun this year than it was last year, I gotta say.
So we have the National Player of the Year. We're going to be put out on Monday. We'll give you guys about a week to vote for it.
Yeah, full week.
It's going to be the 14 players of the week for the entire for all season.
Yeah, with their full stats.
And then we'll have about 6 to 8 guys that were not players of the week. You know, but they have some incredible stats to go along with that.
Sure.
So we're going to be about 20 guys for you guys to choose from. Make sure you go to the website next week when Jace puts this out and start voting and vote for the guy you think deserves to be National Player of the Week. So yeah, we're going to be doing that next week.
Yeah, I believe we're going to put it out for a whole week, and I think we'll close it at Sunday at like around midnight. So we'll make sure to go through a whole week and get as much votes as possible, and then the next week we'll actually debut. We'll probably debut one after one to see who's actually going to be the player of the year.
Okay. Well, moving forward, we had the bowl game in December. I said last month.
It seemed like it was
like yesterday.
Yeah. It seemed like
man. So we had the bowl game in December. Great turnout. We had almost 4,000 people in the stands. I mean, you count the players on the sideline, the coaches on the sideline. We had and all the media on the sideline.
Oh yeah,
we had over 4,000 people in the stadium.
Oh, we did.
But we had 3,900 something people in the stands. Great turnout from the city of Baton Rouge, from people, not just Baton Rouge. We had people from Missouri, Texas, Florida, Alabama, Canada, Arkansas. So
it was all over the place. Coming from.
So it was a great turnout. I think the economic impact of Baton Rouge was $4 million. The bowl game was massive this year. I mean, everything we did was packed out. I think the opening day, the gymnasium that we had,
it was packed
from all 3 corners of the gym was packed.
It was packed.
And everybody stayed all week long, had fun. We did the 7-on-7 where the NFL guys got to talk to the players and gave them their stories and their do's and don'ts in life.
Yeah, that was cool hearing that.
And we're gonna build that up a little bit this year because we want more involvement with that.
Yeah, we do.
That really is a great story these guys give about how football changed or impacted their life, or how God and football, because I mean it's faith, family, football,
Yeah,
and that's what Gridiron football is ultimately about: faith, family, and football. God, your family, and this game. And football is a family. I mean, let's be honest.
It is, and the good thing about that is you don't have to be a football player to hear this.
No,
you can be anybody that wants to get better in life and wants to succeed in life. And you hear some of these stories, man, like. For me, I want to run through a brick wall after hearing these.
Oh, the hair on your arm just stands up by the end of it.
It's incredible.
If you're not inspired and motivated after that event, you don't have a heartbeat. Let's be honest.
You don't.
So the bowl game that really kicks off the night before the bowl game, and then the bowl game happens itself, and oh man. Oh man!
And before we go to the bowl game, man, the players got treated. We gave them a little surprise as well.
We took them to the LSU basketball game. And LSU treated them well. I mean, LSU brought them down on the floor. They sat in the student section. They put them on the jumbotron. I mean, LSU loved the fact the guys showed up. LSU was great to the kids this year. So there's a lot of guys. You know, one guy was in tears because he's like, I've never done anything this big. You know, I didn't know that I was going to get to do this. You know, but this is the first time a lot of these guys have ever been on LSU, and we had a lot of guys from Baton Rouge that had never been to an LSU basketball game, and which is crazy. Yeah. You know, the kid. I say the kids. You know, they're still kids, but the guys they were just blown away by the fact they got to go to an LSU basketball game, and LSU dominated, of course.
Yeah, of course. They had to. I mean, it was disappointing if they didn't, but it was a fun experience.
I think it was one of LSU's only wins this year. No, I'm just joking. I don't watch football. I mean, base basketball that much. Yeah. There's a lot of football for me to watch.
Still a long way to go, but they're improving. I mean, you gotta get better. So.
But all jokes aside, I mean, the kids really absolutely love that opportunity to go to an LSU basketball game. Now, the practices, as you're probably watching some of the video playing over our face right now, the practices were outstanding. You know, we had a lot of media coverage from Baton Rouge. Your guy,
John. I reached over to John Eads and for WAB. I appreciate him for stopping by and covering us and say, hey, like, we have a player from Canada coming to the game, and say, hey, you want to interview him? And they did a whole story on WAB Channel 9 on that. So make sure to check that out if you haven't. But it's a great story. Two players from Canada that participated in the bowl game, and John got a chance to interview both of them and got to hear their story and why they decided to come to Baton Rouge, partake in the Gridiron Football All-American game.
Yeah, there's a lot of people we need to think about with the bowl game this year. It was a great event here in Baton Rouge. We had a lot of help with a lot of local people. They won it back, so we're going to be back again this year. It's going to be in Baton Rouge again. We're going to have same stadium. We'll be at Memorial Stadium in Baton Rouge, unless something changes or you know. I would be honest. I mean, the only place that we go from here is the Superdome.
Right. You know, it'll be something like that.
But I don't foresee that anytime in the future right now, because I mean we're just not ready. You know, I believe in the old crock pot method of growing stuff. I'm not a microwave type of person. I don't look for instant results, because you get instant results. That's all you're getting is the results today. You're not building for tomorrow. You're building for today. Me, the reason I don't want to go on a history lesson real quick, but I love history, by the way. But
who doesn't?
But for me, I want to build for tomorrow. You know, I want to build for a long term. So I make sure there's a good foundation of what I'm building. And I think that's what we're doing with Gridiron Football with this bowl game, is building a great foundation. Yes. Last year, every kid received an offer. This year, I think was it 80, 90 something kids?
It's a pretty high percentage. I think right now we're in the around 40, 45 kids that signed, but there's a lot of kids that have offers on the table that haven't signed their.
I think there's only like 3 or 4 kids have not received an offer yet.
Right.
And I'm still getting. We're still finalizing everything. I'm still making phone calls. We just had another guy sign yesterday.
Yeah.
Colin Coates from Catholic High.
Yeah.
We contacted the coach about them, and he signed that day.
Yeah.
I think he drove up the very next day after getting the offer.
I believe he did.
And then he signed the very next day, up at Centenary. So I mean, there's a lot of guys we're still trying to make sure we get offered, and more guys are going to be signed. I think when it's said and done, I think every single guy at the bowl game will have at least an offer. And about 95% of the guys will sign offers this year.
Yeah, and a lot of the players, some of them are signing at the Division I level. I mean, we had 3 players.
We had three go to Naval Academy.
3 go to Naval
You talk about
Academy.
The scholarship money that is generated through this bowl game. We mentioned the economic impact it had on Baton Rouge. We're talking about the economic impact it's going to have on Louisiana in the future. Let's look at the economic impact this bowl game is going to have in the future of just Louisiana in general. 3 guys signed at Naval Academy.
Yep.
What is the economic? What is the value of a scholarship to go to Naval Academy?
It's pretty high.
You're looking at it for the Naval Academy is about $100,000 a year to go to Naval Academy.
Yep.
because the kids they receive a stipend of $1,800 a month or $2,000 a month,
right?
From the school because they receive E5 pay from military E5 pay, plus all their colleges because it's an Ivy League, you know.
Yeah.
So you're receiving that level of education, and then. So you're looking at about $100,000 a year for that. So multiply that by 4, and then another by 3. You're looking at about $1.2 million just from those 3 kids of scholarship money that came from this bowl game. Then you look at guys like Braden, not Braden. Oh, he's been signed at Academy.
Oh, he's one of the 3 that signed.
The young man out of Center, Texas, who signed at
Caden Dixon.
He signed at another Division I school.
Yeah, NAU.
NAU. I mean, there was a number of guys that signed Division I schools.
Jacorian Norris is playing for
University of Louisiana.
Yeah, University of Louisiana. Yeah.
He had no offers before the bowl game, and now he got an offer. You got to offer Louisiana College or Louisiana Christian University, and then. University of Louisiana. He's gonna be a star.
He's gonna be a stud.
He's gonna be a star. He'll end up being. You'll end up watching that young man on Sundays. I mean, he laid the wood on a couple guys in that bowl game.
2 or 3 times, like calling it from the press box. A couple times during that game.
Oh yeah,
he laid the wood, and we all knew coming in from his ball hawking skills. But we saw what he can do when he lays the wood, and he can definitely lay the wood.
And then you got guys like Zeke Carwile, who his name is actually blown up over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Young man from he was number 8 in the nation in tackles. Before the bowl game, and then he was number 1 in Alabama, in the state of Alabama in tackles.
Right.
Linebacker from Westminster Christian out of Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah. Only Alabama representative we had this year.
And he came in, and now he's being looked at by a lot of schools. He's a little undersized, but I think he's got a little room to grow still. He's young. And he had a 4.1 GPA. Like, really bright. And you saw the guy at 5 o'clock in the morning. You came in one day.
Yeah, I came in the hotel room just doing some work because with the bowl game week, you have to wake up at the crack of dawn and you're always working.
I think 5 a.m. is before the crack of dawn.
Yeah, I think so. But when I was doing some work, in fact, there were no coaches down in the lobby, and the first person I saw by a long shot was Zeke coming down. He just finished a workout and got some coffee, was holding a Bible in his hand, and was just sitting down drinking coffee, reading the Bible at 5 o'clock in the morning. It was very impressive. And you want to talk about an All-American? He is a definition of what a Gridiron football All-American should be, not only on the field, because you mentioned he was one of the top leaders in the nation in tackles, but how you should approach life in general off the field. So those Zeke Carwiles of the world, that's what we do it for. That's why we have the bowl game for guys like that.
And then finally about the bowl game, that week, you keep mentioning it's a lot of hours, a lot of work. I get asked all the time, how in the world do we do this? I mean, it's a big event. It's a great event. I mean, I don't think anybody complains about what that week. There's always something goes wrong. I mean, my grandpa told me back when I was a kid, if nothing, I ain't gonna use the words my grandpa used.
the G
this is a G rated. This is a PG rated version. But my grandpa said things will never happen if you never do things. Nothing ever happened to you if you never do anything. So, and it's true. I mean, if you have to put together a bowl game and there's so many moving parts, something's always going to end up happening. But the kids just kind of go along with it. And I say this kind of jokingly, but the Tuesday before we all reported, my wife had a kid.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know why she did it, but she.
I don't know why she planned that way, huh?
I'm still alive, so she didn't kill me for being gone.
Yeah.
All right, you had the kid. Bye. Peace out.
Yeah.
Now that's basically the week,
Yeah, because we started. Let's see, it was Wednesday, and she was born Monday.
She was born on Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday 8. My daughter was born Tuesday at 8 a.m. And then Wednesday at 8 a.m. we're starting a bowl game.
Starting the bowl game.
I was up all day, all night that night. I changed one diaper,
yeah,
and then wound up going to being at Baton Rouge for 9 o'clock in the morning so we can start the bowl game stuff.
That was a crazy week. A crazy week for sure.
And then my son makes an appearance.
Yeah.
He's
playing catch with Jacorian Norris and a lot of those guys.
Yeah, he was out there playing catch with him. Catch.
Yeah.
He was 2 years old out there playing with all the big kids.
Yep.
2-year-old at the hospital can be a lot, obviously. So I had to go rescue my in-laws for a few minutes.
I can imagine.
But yeah, so I mean, the bowl game is a great event. You know, it was a great turnout. We want to thank everybody for showing up. We want to thank everybody what was a part of the event. If you haven't got an offer yet, if you're one of the few guys, or 2 or 3 guys we know about, if you hang on, trust the process. We're still working.
Yep.
We're not done until everybody's signed.
Yeah.
Now, not everybody's assigned to LSU or Alabama. By this point, you probably know that by now. But there are still schools out there looking for players.
Yes, there are options out there. So I mean, they're not going to run out. And in fact, you can actually go on our website, gridironfootballusa.com. You can keep track of everybody that's signed so far. It's actually under latest college commitments. It's the first post right there. So you can actually keep track live on which guys have signed already. All the Gridiron football All-Americans that signed. So, and it was a great game too. We didn't even talk about the actual game.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the game yet. So, I mean, it was a great game. It was me and Marcus, he's not here right now to defend himself, so I'm gonna talk bad. But me and Marcus, we have, we went out and drafted the young man on the first day. And we just kind of picked the guys that we feel like that would make a good team. We try to make it as to be honest, we knew who we was going to draft way before him.
Yeah,
and we talked about it in the office for a while and went back and forth on a couple players because I mean I've watched every single guy's film, so I knew how good everybody was.
Oh yeah,
but we went back and forth on some players, but we chose the teams to try to keep them as even as possible. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, my team won.
That's another thing. Andy's team won. Over Marcus's
Coach
team.
Coach Mike Bennett did me right when he dropped that dub on Marcus's team. Yeah. Sorry, Coach, and Coach CJ. I mean, I know you guys did a great job, but I mean, let's be honest. You ain't gonna beat the GOAT.
No.
I'm just being my old self.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you got boosted a little bit. I mean, there were bragging rights.
I'm just boasting a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm actually not like that.
No, he's very modest. So,
but anyways, the teams were really good. It
was evenly matched. I mean,
now my team was a little bit more slanted for the defense.
Yeah,
I mean we had a little bit more defensive power than Marcus's team, and Marcus had a lot more offensive guys.
Yeah.
He's a quarterback. I'm a defensive line guy, so I mean
it made sense why the teams were like that. Yeah,
I mean there were some good defensive plays. One of my guys had 2 sacks. I mean,
just look at the D1 for you. I mean, the D1s were just watching the game from up in the press box was amazing. You can win championships with that D1 you had because you had I think Tyron Knighton, who was the MVP for y'all
from Scotlandville. That young man was special.
Yeah,
I'm sort of shocked he didn't go D1.
Yeah,
I can't remember who's offered him. He's got several offers since the bowl game. He didn't have nothing before the bowl game.
Yeah.
His dad walked up to me after the bowl game and just said that this game changed his life. But Tyler Knighton, I'm surprised that he didn't go D1.
Yeah,
I got a feeling that that young man gets into whatever program he gets into. I doesn't care if it's D1 or D3, NAI, JUCO, wherever he goes. That young man is going to be special one day.
Yeah.
He's 6'4", about 230-pound defensive end. He had a heck of a bowl game, a great performance. And here's the thing: if you're sitting there watching this and you wonder, well, what do we mean by what does this really mean? You're putting the best offensive lineman against the best defensive lineman, the best quarterbacks, the running backs.
Right.
I mean, we had Power 5 running backs in the bowl game.
We did.
You're talking about a Power 5 offensive lineman in the bowl game. We had several FBS defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Several. I mean, there was a lot of talent in this game.
There was
a number. Now we don't really get 4-star and 5-star prospects. Those are for the Under Armour All-American Bowl game and the NBC All-American Bowl game. Those are 2 elite level bowl games. I think we're the number 3 bowl game in the nation. Behind those 2.
Yeah.
But so we get a lot of 3-star, 2-star prospects in our bowl game, and that's really shows up and really balls out. These guys are phenomenal athletes. You're going to see a lot of these guys on Sundays. Let's be honest. Out of the 5-star prospect, first off, there's only 32 5-star prospects in the nation. In any given class, there's only 32. And you know why there's 32, Jace?
Why is it, Andy?
Because there's only 32 first-round draft picks.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So there's only 32 draft 5-star prospects. So they're expected to be first-round draft picks. Now, how many 5-star prospects do you know get drafted first round?
maybe about really 2-3%. I mean, like
about 1 or 2% of the 5-star prospects become first-round picks. Your first-round picks are the guys like Drew Brees. Do you know what Drew Brees was rated out of high school? No, he wasn't a first-round pick.
Yeah,
he was a second-round pick.
Right.
But he was a first pick of second round. Technically a first round.
Guys that are like late bloomers because maybe those 5 stars.
Drew Brees was a zero-star prospect. You know,
look at Tom Brady.
We talk about Tom wasn't even rated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Tom wasn't even rated.
Late bloomers.
So when you start looking at these star ratings, that really has no meaning, no value, other than the first Wednesday of February. And the only reason I have a meeting on that week because the colleges like to brag, we signed this signing class, this signing class.
Number 2 sign class in the country.
And by the time they graduate from the 25, 30, 40 guys they signed this year, maybe 4 or 5 guys are on the roster. A lot of those guys, they leave, they don't pan out. It's the 3-star and 2-star prospects, the no-star prospects, those are the guys. Those diamond in the rough, hint. The diamond in the rough that's in this magazine, those guys pan out. If you start looking at the bowl games that we've had over the years, we're starting to have some guys that are playing these bowl games are going to be first round, second round picks. We have a guy coming up next year who I think is going to be a first, second round pick, and he plays at the University of Louisiana.
Yeah.
He's an interior lineman. I got a feeling he's going to end up being a second day. Maybe he might fall to the third day, but I think it'll be a second day pick, a second round pick, or maybe a late first round pick. He's one of the top interior linemen in the country. Plays at University of Louisiana, 40 miles up the road.
The Raging Cajuns produce a lot of offensive linemen too, so that's becoming a really good position group. A lot of NFL teams are going trying to recruit from.
And then you had the guys from this last year. I mean, guys like Wydett Williams. Wydett Williams wasn't even rated coming out of high school.
Yeah.
From General Trask, went and played in the bowl game we had at Southeastern, signed to Delta State, signed as a safety, not even quarterback, but safety.
Right.
Now he's transferred to University of Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah, it's a Division I
FBS program,
FBS program,
who actually beat Alabama a few years back.
Yeah, Saban. They beat Saban in 07.
I mean, they only one bragging right. That's the bragging right.
That's a heck of a bragging right.
But guys that play this bowl game, they might sign D2, D3 level. So you're sitting there saying, these guys, they ain't that good. No, when we tell you they're good, we're telling you this from a coach's perspective. Somebody that coached, like I was at the LSU level. I've been at LSU. I've been at Southeastern Division I football. I've been there. I've seen what it takes to play at that level. The guys I recruit this bowl game, the guys I tell you to call, the guys all the writers, the ones you call. The reason I want you to talk to them. Because I know what it takes to play at that Division I FBS level. I've been there. I know the Kiki Mingos, the Sam Montgomerys, the Benny Logans, the Fergusons. Sure. I know what it takes to be at that level. Now, not everybody's 6'6", 300 pounds, and around a 4'1", 40.
Right.
But there's a lot of Zach Taylors out there. Yeah, I bet you don't remember Zach Taylor.
Yeah, the Miami Dolphins.
5'9", 5'10", middle linebacker who dominated the NFL for 20 years. The greatest middle linebackers in top 10 at least.
It's kind of like Zeke Carlisle, really.
You see where I'm going with this now, right? Okay, so that's who we're recruiting for this bowl game. And that's why college coaches, like I talked to a number of college coaches at the bowl game this year, and they were like, "Man, I'm like a kid in a candy store." Yeah. The D2 schools that were there, the D3 schools that were there, the NAIs that were there, they was like, man, I want that kid, now I want that kid. And all of a sudden, those kids started getting offers. I mean, a number of those kids have signed. Like you said, we had 40-something kids signed. Most bowl games across the United States, let's be honest, let's talk turkey here. Most bowl games over the United States don't sign 40 guys in 3 to 4 years.
Right.
We've had 40 guys sign so far this year.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest. I ain't calling anybody out, but let's be honest. And if you don't think if you think I'm exaggerating, go to their websites and just look at how many guys they signed.
Yeah, there's
look at their rosters. Yeah. Look at their rosters and compare their rosters with how many of them actually signed.
Yeah.
It's very simple. We are the number. I feel, as well as every college coach I've ever talked to, from Ron Roberts. Oh, I guess I dropped a big name there.
Yeah, that's a big name. Yeah, that's a big name.
Brandon Lacey, Brick Haley, any of those guys I've ever talked to, I was my mentors because I talked to those guys. They can't be at the bowl game, but they watch it online.
Yeah.
You know, they'll tell me in a heartbeat. They're my mentors. I call them for advice all the time. So if I call them for advice, don't you think I'm going to ask them about the bowl game? What do you think of the bowl game? Don't give me the watered down version. I want you to give me the no BS version. What do you think? What do I need to do different to make it better? And every one of them telling me the exact same thing. This is the best bowl game outside of the top 2. And it's only because we don't have those 4-star or 5-star players.
And if you think about it, Andy, like on the field, just like the tension and competitiveness of it, it's actually more than the 2 bowl games you just talked about, because these players are
those are Pro Bowls.
These guys are hungry.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to really put everything on the line one final time. If you look at maybe the Under Armour All-American game, the All-American games, they're going to LSU. They're going to those schools already. So,
well, let's speak to the powerness of this bowl game real fast, just so people don't understand how powerful this bowl game really is. We had a young man playing this bowl game this year who signed, last week?
Yeah.
Had a young man sign, played quarterback, and didn't even go to high school.
Yeah.
So let's think that for a second. This young man
was a
homeschool kid.
Homeschool kid.
Played in a homeschool league. Didn't even play in a high school league.
No.
Played homeschool league. I saw him at a 707.
Yeah.
I was like,
summer.
this kid got something special. Let's invite him.
Yep.
That's the power of this bowl game.
Yep.
Kids didn't even play high school football.
Right.
You got kids that did play high school football, like Zerick Jones from Gena, Louisiana. He's got all kinds of offers.
Yep.
You know, I'm looking at the magazine cover right here because every one of the seniors on this cover signed.
Right.
John Michael Saponaro.
Yeah.
We invited that young man to come out and play wide receiver because he's more of an athlete, not so much a quarterback. He's not very tall. He's about 5'9", 5'10".
Good athlete.
He had no offers. Another young man. He wasn't even a starting quarterback on his team. He was a back. It was dual quarterbacks. Had 2 quarterbacks. So he came in with quarterback. Was MVP of this game.
Had scored a game-winning touchdown for you.
Saved us from going to overtime. Me and Marcus on the sideline. Like, so Andy, Marcus, what are we gonna do if we go to overtime? This is gonna be a first time for us. Like, well, it's college football rules. I guess we start on the 25-yard line and see what happens. I mean, it was a stalemate the entire game. But John came in and scored the game-winning touchdown for us. Was MVP. I mean, he led the team in rushing yards.
Yeah, he did.
You know, so he's committed.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. He wasn't even the starting quarterback. He got split time at high school at Neville, and now he's committed to a college. You know, keep him going down the list here. You got Cedric May, from Woodlawn High School.
Yeah, he just signed, I think, with ETBU, I believe.
East Texas Baptist.
Yep.
You know, big 6'4" offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Big time guy. Didn't have a great senior year. You know, Woodlawn's going through some growing pains after losing all those big time prospects to LSU and Tennessee.
Yeah.
But so they didn't have a great senior year. But he wound up going. He signed it to East Texas Baptist, and I got a feeling he'll be there 1 or 2 years before he transfers and goes to a much bigger school. He's going to be a guy that's going to be one of those growing type guys.
Yeah,
those are the type of guys we're getting in this game.
Yeah,
you know, you're talking about a lot of great talent. C.J. White, another big time defensive end out of Foster, Texas, Houston suburb.
Oh man, as he looked the part. I mean,
6 foot. I mean, his dad was a defensive end in the NFL for a number of years. So I mean, he's got it in the blood. I mean, that kid can kind of flat out play. Oh man,
your whole D line. You had Nasir Hudson on the D line.
From Warren Easton. He signed.
You had Ryan McVay.
He signed.
Scambia. I mean, your D line. You can win a championship with your D line.
I think you pull these guys out of this bowl game. You take this bowl game. The 100 players that was at this year's game. And I know some of y'all are probably like, this show's going on and on, but let's be honest. You take the 100 kids out of this bowl game, I would challenge, if we had a full week of practice with about 99% of the college football teams in the country, I wonder how good we'd do.
I think you would. I mean, this team.
Now I don't know if we'd win or not, but I do because you got guys. You got the offensive line has to gel.
Yeah.
But defensively, man, we'd be in it.
Yeah, you feel pretty good.
I feel pretty good about the defense. You know, because we had some defense.
Really, all 3 levels. I mean, you got players there. But
and speaking of the 3 levels, we actually changed the rules for this year. Gabe Northern came up, all pro defensive end. He's like, Andy, let's change it. You know, it's your game, but let's talk about the special teams. And so we changed the special teams around this year to play XFL special team rules.
We did.
And the reason was, if you go back and watch the game, the reason we did that was so the kids weren't running full force 30 yards down the field and crash. You had 10 yards, they block, and then the running back. You
still get the return game.
You still get the return game involved. Yeah. The guys were able to get out, and it worked out really well. The kids actually enjoyed it.
I like it.
But yeah, as you're watching the game, you're watching the highlights over us right now. You're probably seeing, there's a long clock. I mean, we play 15-minute quarters. A lot of guys, they go through a grueling 12 hours of practice beforehand. And then, and I say grueling, it's
like 2 long days, like long.
You're talking about they start off with a big cat drill, and the guys from Texas, like, we call this a big gator drill.
Okay, all right.
But we start with the big cat drill. The guy, big on big, small on small. Wake them up, knock that rust off. They ain't hit each other in over a month. Since the state championship game. So give him a chance to get out there and knock that rust off. I remember the linebacker from Alabama. Man, he wanted to lay the wood that first day. He thought he was a Pro Bowl the first day. Picks up the offensive lineman and drives him down.
The Canadian linebacker.
Canadian
linebacker, yep.
He wanted to get there and show what he could do day one.
Oh, yeah.
He hit the ground running.
He really did.
Both those guys hit the ground running at the bowl game during that whole week.
Oh, yeah. They wanted to prove a point that they can come down here and compete with some of the best in the United States. And they held their own, I can tell you that. So. And
then we did something special for them. We actually played the Canadian national anthem first.
Yeah, that was
cool. I'm still in the military, so I had to actually call up the guys and hey, how do we do that?
Right.
So we played the Canadian national anthem first. And I could see the look in all the American players' lives. The 2 Canadians sitting there, they're proud,
very proud
and humbled, and they were standing there, as the Canadian national anthem was singing, and then all of a sudden. I'm getting chills just thinking. I was standing on their sidelines and I was watching it happen. When the national anthem was actually Samuel Tuo's sister.
Samuel Tuo's sister. Oh my goodness, she killed it. She can sing.
I'm gonna have to call her. She comes back every single year.
Yeah, she can. And I was standing right by her because I was in the press box, and I was like, the first note I was like, oh boy, she's going to knock down the house with this, and she.
But on the sidelines, Jace. Every single player on the sidelines. I've been to thousands of games. I mean, I go 4 or 5 games a week. I've been to thousands of games, and I've never seen high school football players stand so proud, so tall after hearing the Canadian national anthem play.
Yeah,
because all of a sudden I think it clicks in all their ears. Like, they're playing the Canadian national anthem. Wait, this is not just I'm representing. Rose Pine, Louisiana. I'm gonna throw, obviously.
Sure.
Or DeRitter, or
Timbuktu. You never know.
Right? Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm not representing Bel Air High School or Woodlawn High School. I'm representing Louisiana. But it's bigger than that. I'm representing the United States.
Yes.
The kids stood tall, and they put their hands over the hearts, and it meant something to them because. This was a big, big opportunity for each one of these kids. They realized this is an international game. You have kids that flew down here from Canada, from Quebec, Canada. One was from what was the other? Was it Quebec or Ontario?
Ontario.
One was from Quebec and
Newmarket, Ontario.
And one was from Quebec and one was from Ontario. And they flew down there to represent their countries and their hometowns and their schools. And they wanted to show that Canadians can play football just like Americans could.
Yeah.
And that linebacker, he proved it in the game.
Yeah,
now he was huffing and puffing a little bit, but he came out. He played. The running back had a great week.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
He's the number one. He actually was the number one running back in Canada. The linebacker's the number one linebacker in Canada.
Yeah.
And they came down here and competed really well and showed that they can go back to Canada and be very proud of what they accomplished in this bowl game.
They should be really proud. They represent Canada really well.
So topping it off the bowl game, it was a great event. If this year to be at Baton Rouge again, it would be at Memorial Stadium. It'd be the same week, December 27th or December 30th. The game will be played on Monday night, December 30th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a long weekend that weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be long, and I'll be remiss too. What the atmosphere was great. It felt like a playoff game. It really did, Andy, because not only the fans but the band.
Yeah, we can't leave out.
I'll be remiss if I
can't leave out Lee High School or Liberty High School band. I'll be honest. You think it was you thought it was a playoff atmosphere. I see it as a college atmosphere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Imagine having Tiger Band from Tigerland behind you, bellowing, and that's what that bowl game was. I mean, the kids on the sidelines, the hair on the back of their necks. It was high pitch, high tempo the entire game. Big shout out to Liberty High School for showing up and showing out what they can do.
Absolutely.
We look forward to those guys. Hopefully they come back again next year.
Yeah, they really made the game as good as it really was. I mean, they brought it to a different level.
So as you're watching us or listening to us talk, you're probably seeing some of you probably can hear some of that in the background.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you,
Liberty
High School did a great job.
They really did.
So big shout out to those guys. Big shout out to City of Baton Rouge for hosting the event. Breck for hosting it. Baton Rouge Recreation. So
one more thing too before we wrap up too, because I know we talked a lot about the senior game, but we had our junior high game too before the senior game, and kind of really made this a whole of an event. Like we had like the appetizer
before the main course,
and really the talent. But this is the second year we put on the junior high All-American game, and we were having the conversation. But there's probably 3 or 4 guys that are gonna be 4 or 5 stars, or
there's definitely one 5-star prospect in that game.
There definitely was.
I can't pronounce his first name. Aravis Davenport.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's a 5-star prospect. If I've ever seen one in my life, I've talked to Marcus about it. And Marcus has said he's already gotten word from people out of Connecticut and Texas, like, who is this kid? This kid's phenomenal. 6'2", 190, 200-pound running back out of Russian Middle School up in Shreveport, Louisiana. Going to be going to Bossier High School next year. A big-time prospect. Oh, man, he was trucking kids.
Yeah, he had like 3 touchdowns in the game, and I know that he like forced a couple fumbles. Like he was all over the place on both sides of the ball.
Remind me a lot of a Devin White.
Yeah.
Devin White played running back in high school, if you don't remember. And whenever Devin White signed at LSU, I was the only one. I'll go ahead.
Yep.
I got the magazine over there on the wall where we talked about how Devin White was going to be a better linebacker than a running back.
Yeah.
And a lot of people criticized me about it back then.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
But a lot of people criticized me back then about that. Like, because it's the only running back LSU signed that year.
Yeah.
And come to find out, a couple years later, All-American, All-Pro linebacker. I think RVS Davenport is the same thing. He can play both ways, a linebacker and running back.
He's like built differently. He's longer than Devin.
He's a little bit longer. He's had that feel. I mean, he's only 8th grade.
Yeah, I know.
He's still got to feel out.
Right.
Now, once he gets to high school, coach. Yeah. So we know he's a 5-star prospect. As soon as Running 47 and Rivals gets that, he's gonna be a 24.
Yeah, he's a 5-star. Gonna be that guy. He is gonna be
the kid out of Lafayette. We're holding back saying he's a 5-star, but just because of height and weight. He's about.
He's got all the measurable, like all the tools.
He's 6 foot right now, about 160 pounds. Yeah. He's got to fill out some more. He's got to grow a little bit more. But if he gets about a 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" time, he's a 5-star prospect.
He is.
If he's around 6'1", 6'2", he's going to be a 4-star prospect.
Yeah.
At least about a 4-star, 3-star, 4-star prospect. So those are 2. I mean, those are just a couple guys.
Yeah. Right.
There was another receiver. There was a number of receivers there. I thought it was going to be good, possibly good, some good 3-star prospects. Some Tulane guys. That guy's going to end up going to Tulane. I mean, that's
exceeded my expectations. They really did. Going and seeing the junior high game, I came away very impressed from the talent we saw on the field in the first games. Like, this is just the appetizer. I can't wait for the finale. And really, both games. It was a fun day.
So let's compare it to food wise. I'm a fat guy, so let's compare it to food wise real quick. So the junior high game, that was your alligator.
Yeah, bites. Your boudin balls,
your boudin balls, or your alligator bites,
nachos,
and then your bowl game is your jambalaya, your gumbo.
Yep.
But wait, you can fill up on. I'm telling you, I'm a fat guy. I can fill up on alligator bites. Or boudin balls.
You know? Oh yeah.
Got to throw some Louisiana in there.
You have to. You have
Lejeune,
to.
Bryson.
Yeah. You have to. I mean, it's just only natural. So.
But yeah, so this next year, make sure you check out the bowl game. Make sure you check everything out. Now, moving forward, we're going to talk about our camps real fast.
Yeah.
We have started our camps. We're looking for the next year's prospects for the bowl game. Be at our camps. You'll be in our magazine. Guaranteed to be in the magazine for the camps. Top prospects will receive upcoming senior prospects will receive invites to the bowl game. As well as top camp prospects will receive a pair of Gridiron football gloves. These are like Stickum.
Oh yeah, like Fred Winnickoff would play with these. I'll tell you, like the Stickum he used, he would throw that away with these gloves. I'll tell you that.
I was out there a little while ago with the intern throwing the ball around, and I could catch a ball one-handed like Marcus Coaching could with my fingertips.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're giving out pairs of those at our camps. Every kid that shows up our camp going forward will receive a T-shirt, a dry fit T-shirt, a water bottle, and a backpack. So, and then not to mention the exposure, which is, invaluable. You or the interns will be interviewing them, as well as they'll be filmed for the 40-yard dash, shuttle runs, and the camp stuff.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we have a full year of exciting stuff going on. We have a 7-on-7 we're going to be at this weekend. Make sure to check that out. We also have going forward. We have our camps coming up. Like we talked about that.
Yeah.
We're trying to put our 7-on-7 on in June. And then going into the season, we have a lot more stuff.
Yeah, a big media day right before football season. We're going to be doing like we did last year. And
last year we had 30-something schools.
30 schools showed up. Yep.
So we're looking to about double that this year.
Yeah.
Get a lot more coverage, a lot more high schools, a lot more kids. See what they can do this upcoming season.
So lot planned for this.
Not to mention we got spring football still.
Yeah, spring football. We're making our spring tours and appearances there, and we have our. We're going to talk about later in the show, but we have our player of the year. We're going to nominate 2 from last year, but we pretty much put the cap on 2023, moving on to 2024.
We are the great, we will take you great, man. We're hard, work hard,
I've been here 3 years, I ain't never talked before a game. But ever since yesterday, my heart been pumping. My heart been pumping, my body been getting hot. I thought I was nervous.
Scared. Coach said no fear. No fear. Coach Webb said no fear. No fear.
Hey, welcome back. We're going to talk about the bowl game, the camp segment real fast. I got my buddy Marcus Randall sitting here right next to me. Man,
what's going on, baby?
We already held our first camp, Marcus.
Okay.
Our first camp we had it over Bossier City High School, Bossier High School, not Bossier City, Bossier City, Louisiana, Bossier High School.
Yep.
Man, we had a big turnout, Coach. Our camps, I'll be honest with you, man. Since we and you started doing these camps long time ago,
right? Years ago.
These camps are phenomenal. Every parent walks up to me after these camps and tells me, hey, this is a great opportunity. My kids go to X camp, this camp, but you guys are legit. You guys, everything's organized, everything's laid out the way it's supposed to be laid out. The kids never have a chance to not be doing something. They're always learning. They're always moving forward. My advice, you were a big-time prospect coming out of high school. You had a chance to go to a lot of these camps.
Right.
What is your take on a lot of these camps that go on and what we do?
So I mean, you brought up back when I was in high school. It didn't have as many camps. I think right now, people seeing that they got a lane right now, okay, and parents and players are trying to get to the next level. So there's a lot of guys out there right now that's putting camps on, that's doing things that's not really beneficial. Maybe you didn't have many when I was coming out. Maybe you had Nike, maybe you had your you had your few other ones that you knew that you was actually getting what you paid for. and ever since I came to Gridiron and I saw the product and I saw what it was. It reminded me of those days. It reminded me of kids coming in. Basically, they're gonna get everything that they pay for. They're gonna really get to be pushed out to college coaches. They're gonna really get trained up on the things that they need by each position. Because we bringing in the coaches, which is a lot of the coaches that's in the bowl game. You know what I'm saying? Coaches that's all over the state. So when you have those kind of things, and when you have the connections, obviously, man, you've been on the college ranks. I know a whole bunch of college coaches, not from just only playing, but from coaching, and all the guys I've sent out. So we're able to talk about these guys and the credibility. That's the thing that's there. So, I mean, now when you can come to a Gridiron camp, man, you're going to get all those things. Plus, I mean, now we done took it to the extra mile, man. You're getting the magazines, you're getting player cards if you want to get those things where, colleges can come and just hit the QR code and then bring up all of your interviews, all of your highlights. So, I mean, you pretty much, man, it probably underpaid when you start looking at all the things that, that come along with it.
You brought up a good point, we do this every day. You, me, Mark, Jace, the staff, we do this every day. So let me talk to you guys real fast. If you're going to a camp and you want to go to a football camp, do your homework. It's very easy to do some homework, do a quick research of each one of these guys putting on camps. There are some great camps out there, but there's also some camps out there not so good. Do your homework. Read the reviews on their Facebook profiles or their Twitter profiles or whatever. Go to their website. Look at how many kids are getting signed. Look at what you get from what they're paying for. I can tell you right now, colleges don't care about stars. Colleges don't care about, unless just rivals or 24/7. No, colleges don't care about stars. What they care about is what you can do. What do you bring to their program? What kind of player are you? What kind of value you bring to that program? Not a star. Go out and do your homework. Look at what you're getting. Like you brought it, like you said, when you come to our camp, you're going to be in our magazine. You're going to be listed in our magazine. When you go, you're going to see yourself. You're going to see write-ups. You're going to see everything in here. You're going to be featured in the magazine. Coach, all he has to do is click on the photo. The magazine we send out to colleges, we send out 4,000 college coaches get our magazine every month. All they got to do is click on your image, and they're going to see everything you did in the camp. If you run below a 4.5, we will advertise that. If you don't run a 4.5, obviously you didn't run a 4.5. You weren't fast enough for what we were looking for. But we're not going to we're not telling everybody what you actually ran, because it gives you time to go back and get better. Our camps are designed. We designed the camp, so whenever I was coaching a ball, we know what we're looking for. Our camp is designed to teach you how to camp come this summer. In June and July, if you're not going to college football camps, you're not going to play college football. They want to put eyes on you. They want to see how fast can you run. Can you really run a 40-yard dash? It's not so much as, are you a 4.5 40? Because let's be honest, Marcus, how many high school coaches can teach a 40-yard dash? Nothing against high school coaches. It's just that they have only so much time in a day to coach you.
I was about to say they probably could coach it, but many of them probably not, because like you said, most of them worried about the skills, the scheme, those things, those different things.
What college coaches are looking for, they're looking for explosion. They're looking for the effort you're giving. They're looking for that type of stuff from you when you show up to their camp. If you run a 4.5 40, chances are good you're a 4.3, 4.4 guy. If they can look at that and tell, because you go to 4.5 40 and you've probably never run it, one or two times. Right. You're probably faster than that. Right. They go back and look at your game film. Oh, okay, this guy, he's fast. Right. So when you go out to get these camps, make sure you do your homework. There are a lot of camps out there. There's some really great ones and some really bad ones. There's some that will charge you a lot of money just for a T-shirt, and that's all you get is a T-shirt. And if you want a T-shirt, I got boxes of them in here. We're gonna we give out at our camp for $50. Right. Yeah, and it saves you a couple $100. But all joking aside, do your homework on these camps. A lot of camps have spent a lot of money in advertising. They get a lot of people to come to their camp. You'll show up. You're one of 400 kids. They have 6 or 7 coaches. You're just a number. You'll get to do a 40-yard dash, a shuttle run, long jump, high jump, L drill, and then you might get a little bit of instruction, a little bit, if you get that.
Correct.
Yeah. So Do your homework. Make sure you go to the camps that are going to benefit you. And then this summer, when you go to camps, it's time to go to college camps, go to the college camps that you have a shot at going to. If you think you can go to LSU, go to the LSU camp. If you think you're going to play at Southeastern, go to the Southeastern camp.
Yep.
If you think you can go to South Alabama, go to South Alabama. If you whatever level of camp school you think you should be playing at, go to those camps. Don't waste your money going to LSU, and you know you're not going to be going to LSU.
I'm gonna just make a comment. And the game changing, it's changing. So sometime when I thought I might have been a D1 Power 5 guy with the transfer portal and the way things going, you better give yourself an opportunity at some of those lower schools right now.
Yes.
Because that's just the new wave. Not to say you're not that caliber of guy. It's just the fact that right now, just the way it's going, transfer portal, coaches' jobs on the line every year. So they're trying to win right now. A lot of them not trying to bring in young guys and work with them and get them up to speed. They're trying to get guys that's already ready. So even if you feel like you one of those Power 5, man, I would go through and pick me a group of 5. Yep. And then I would pick a Division 1 AA. Because now you're not stuck, even if you have to go to one of those programs, you're not stuck there. Right. So you want to give yourself those opportunities, and those are the opportunities that's going to be out there and going to be more and more when you start looking down the line. But if you go there and you handle your business and do what you need to do,
you can raise your stock.
You can raise your stock. Now you become one of those guys. So it's almost like the farm system forming. I mean, you still will have your Power 5 guys that's going to go. But a lot of other guys that that used to be Power 5 guys that's having to take lower scholarships, and that's all right now.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're a 5-star rated player or a highly rated 4-star player, chances are good you're not playing Power 5 anymore.
Not out the gate.
Not out the gate. Not out the gate.
Yeah.
You have to be a 5-star or a highly rated 4-star prospect. Lower rated 4-star prospects are going group of 5, like Marcus said.
Correct.
You can ball out at that level and
then raise your stock later.
We saw some in the bowl game this year.
Yeah.
Now we did have some D1 guys, some Power 5 guys, but we would probably have more had it not been for the transfer portal because it was some talent in those guys in this game.
Well, this is the magazine right here, Marcus. We got the magazine out right here on the cover. All but 2 signed college offers.
So let's just talk about the bowl game.
Except for the
for the 8th graders.
The 2 8th graders. They didn't sign.
So even in the
down the road.
Right. They will.
Davenport. Let's talk about our obvious Davenport coach.
Yeah,
that's a man child at 8th grade. He's going to be a 5-star prospect.
So now, and I think we was a little bit ahead of the game. I think we seen this coming is why we wanted to start jumping into the junior All-American game.
Yep.
So we could put eyes on these kids earlier. Because if they are going to still have that chance to get Power 5, people need to know about them now.
Yes.
They need to not know, but like you just said, Davenport, we know that he'll be one of those guys. Now, I hadn't heard of him till the bowl game. And then when I saw him, I was like, whoa, man, this is a future.
6'2", 200-pound running back.
We're watching a Sunday guy. We're watching some guy in front of our eyes.
This is a guy right here. And then now, since we put him on there, and different people that went to the platform and rewatched that game, Jace was he was there.
Yeah.
They asking me about, man, who was that guy number 24 running? So now that's all. And this guy was from Connecticut.
Yeah.
And then we talking about guys that from Texas that's seeing these games and seeing these kids early enough so they already on people's boards right now. So that's where we're going, and that's what we're doing for the camps. And then now when you get that credibility, people coming to you. So hey, do you have another guy? I mean, who was at the last camp you was at? So people trying to fill their boards up, and that's how you get your ratings if you want to get those ratings up, or if you want to have that chance to leave from high school and go straight to the big time.
Well, I think that's what makes us different, Marcus. I think that's what makes you, me, him, Jace, all of us different. We got the guy sitting right here that can write them. He can write some articles. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
This guy can write some articles. Me and Marcus, we know X's and O's.
Yep.
The offense. I know.
And talent.
That's what I'm saying. We know the football side.
Right.
This guy can write. But whenever we got here, we're a media company.
Correct.
That's what we are. Gridiron Football is a media company. All nuts and bolts comes down to it. We are a media company. We have between 8 to 35 million. 8 to 35 million readers every month. If you think you're the only one who watches this video or reading our magazines, you might want to open your eyes. Yeah. We are in 180 countries. Mm-hmm. When we post our magazine, was it Monday?
Yeah.
It was Monday. It was our Sunday. It was Monday.
Yeah.
We post the magazine on Monday. Within an hour, it was already shared worldwide. Mm-hmm. People all over the world are reading this magazine. Why is that important? Like Marcus just said, you want to get your ratings? Yeah, I'm telling you, everybody's reading this magazine.
Right.
I mean, you can't go to a high school or college in the United States that people don't know this magazine right now.
And why is the world and why is that so important now? Because they're starting to play football all over the world.
They are.
Yeah.
We had two kids. We had two kids.
It became an international game this year.
Correct. We got two from Canada, but then I'm looking at it. Man, they're starting leagues just all over the like in different countries all over the world right now.
Right. Exactly.
Football. So I mean, so I just see this thing just getting bigger and bigger, and everybody kind of catching on to it.
Well, I had a meeting with a guy in India. I can't pronounce the name of the town, but I had a meeting with a guy in India. They want us to bring our camps to India for their league. They're trying to build in India right now. Not India.
Right. Not Indiana.
Not Indiana. India.
Right.
They wanted us to bring this magazine overseas. I mean, heck, we had Shriver, Coach Shriver from St. Edmunds on the cover a few years ago. They were contacted by the number one quarterback in what country was that? I know you remember the story. But they was New Zealand. The number one quarterback in New Zealand contacted Coach Shriver, wanted to transfer into Eunice, Louisiana, to play football from New Zealand because he saw it in the magazine. Yep. So first and foremost, Gridiron Football is a media company. Let's put it out there what it is. We put our events on because they're media events. Mm-hmm. That way, our writers can write about it.
Correct.
You know, our bowl game is a media extravaganza.
Right.
I mean, everything's filmed. You know, from the day they walk in to the day they leave, to the moment they leave, everything's filmed. Yep. Interviews. You talk about a media extravaganza, and then you talk about like how many cameras on the sidelines, Marcus. We saw at the bowl game itself. I mean, you had everybody around the field just filming, just taking video, pictures, whatever. That's what Gridiron Football is. If you're once ever wondering, well, what are these guys really about? They got the camps, they got the bowl game, they got the 7-on-7. They're doing this. What are they? We're a media company, guys. Let's be honest.
Exposure. That's one word.
Right.
There it is.
There it is.
So, if you want to get seen, be at our camp. We have our next camp is going to be in Covington, Louisiana, next Saturday on March 2nd.
March 2nd.
We have a camp coming up. It's going to be in Baton Rouge. We can't disclose the camp, the location just yet. We're still finalizing the details. We're going to have a camp on April 6th. And then we have another camp. We're going to be in the Houston area. We're talking with a high school coach in Houston right now. It's going to be at Houston on April 20th. And then we have talks with coaches over in Jackson, Mississippi on May 24th. May 24th, May 25th. Go to our website. Go to our elite pages, our elite camp page on our website. Gridiron There's the website right above my head. GridironFootballUSA.com. Go to our elite camp pages and make sure you check out where our camps are going to be at. Sign up. I mean, if you miss one, go to another one. If you come to one, come to another one. If you think you can do better, we have one guy, James Lucas. James Lucas the fourth.
We're calling Mr. Gridiron.
That young man comes to every single camp because he wants to get better every single time, and he wants to compete.
I've seen him getting better and better.
He does.
What, 2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, 2 years ago. He's now got a 4.1 shuttle run.
Yes.
It's so fast that the rivals didn't even want to. When he went to the rivals camp, he ran a 4.140 or not 40, a 4. No,
that'd be really Deion Sanders.
A 4.1 shuttle. They didn't want to record it because they thought it was a fluke. They had him run it 7 times before they actually wrote down a 4.2 shuttle.
And I seen it with my own eyes. What that was, Rayville?
Rayville
camp last year. Yeah, man, I seen it with my own eyes. I made him rerun it.
So come to our camps. Come check it out. Check out what we're doing. You know, come be a part of what we got going, because the purpose of what we're doing is trying to give you guys an opportunity to be seen so you can go to college. Mm-hmm. You know, only about 10,000 guys a year will get a college offer because, let's face it, there's only 879 college football teams in the country, so about 10,000 people nationally. You're competing with over 1 million high school football players for 10,000 schools or 10,000 positions.
Right.
Now, not everybody gets scholarships. Some is academic, some is athletic. Doesn't matter. I mean, a scholarship's a scholarship. Let's be honest. If you're D3 or D1, either way, you're a dog.
Right.
You can play football.
Especially now.
The way the transfer portal is.
Yeah.
You're D3 All-American. If you ain't transferring the next year, I mean, you kind of hinting
You can make your
yourself
way up. That's the good thing about it. So you can make your way up.
So come to our camp, on March 2nd, April 6th, April 20th, May 25th.
Yeah, May 25th. Yeah.
Come to our camps. This Saturday, Marcus, before we get off here, let's talk about we got RPA 707. You're going to be here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It was split between two schools right now on Saturday.
Yep. So we'll be it's a Saturday, Sunday. So on Saturday we'll be at Most Blessed Church. Maybe we'll be using their field, and we'll be at the middle school at Woodlawn Middle School. And then on Sunday we'll be at the middle school. Then back at the high school in the main stadium with the 15, 18-year-old group. Last week we was in. I went to DR7. It's a 707 down up in New Orleans. It was hype. Man, we had a lot of teams out there. And then so this week I'm looking for. It won't be as big, but it's going to have a lot of talent in there. It's going to have a lot of guys out there showcasing their talent. And this 707 thing is just growing so big right now. And I'm seeing so many guys getting a chance to go out there showcase their talents. Again, every time you can go out and hone your skills or get a chance to show. And that's why I want the Gridiron to be there, obviously, so we can see all these guys and be able to, show the footage and be able to give them everything that they need as they move forward.
Well, on Saturday, make sure you're watching Gridiron football. We'll have some live streaming going on. Jace and the guys will be out live streaming with the players. We're doing interviews, live streaming games. So make sure you check that out. Marcus, how can people get involved with RPA? Because I know you run Randall Passing Academy. So how can people get involved with that?
If you can go to the Instagram page and DM us right there, and you'll find out a lot of other contacts that you need. So that's the main way that a lot of people have been doing it. Or you can go to Randall Passing Academy at gmail.com. You can send a email in. I know a lot of people like to work off the emails, but a whole bunch of people on social media, and especially most of December on 17th, everybody got a page.
Yeah.
So if you're on there, and we also just got a Twitter page. So if you're on Twitter, I haven't been big on Twitter. A lot of coaches have been getting on me about that. So I'm about to mark my I'm about to mark my social media presence up on Twitter. So we do access there too as well.
Well, I hope we're going to be there on Saturday.
Yep.
See you guys, see everything. We're going to film everything for you guys, take photos. So we'll definitely be there on Saturday. Make sure you guys check out RPA on Saturday through our network.
Yeah.
Watch some of the games, and don't miss out on our camp next Saturday. By the way, I forgot to mention the top prospects, our top camp performers, will get these Stickum gloves. Man,
Right. Yeah.
I put this pair on a little while ago. I put this
shot.
I put this pair on a little bit ago, and all of a sudden I feel like I
you got kids.
Man, I tell you what,
you got hands.
I wish I had these back when we were playing football back in the 90s, man.
Yeah.
I probably would put. I don't know. I'd probably got a lot more picks. I wouldn't have had to blitz so much. I wouldn't have so many head concussions.
Right.
But yeah, so these gloves, I look like Marcus Coast now to catch the ball one-handed. With these gloves. But yeah, so the top camp performers will receive gloves from us. It's got our logo on it, so that way everybody knows you are Gridiron Football Elite. So be at our camp next Saturday, or April or May, and let's get it done. Coach, thank you so much for joining us here on the show.
Yes, indeed.
So thank you so much,
I
man.
look forward to seeing all y'all guys, man, throughout this spring.
All right. Thanks for watching.